Greetings. TMOT back again for another drive time. This is I guess a throwback from what I used to do when I first got on YouTube back in 2008. I used to make videos, giving advice, talking about things going on in the black community. And then I realized many of the problems in the black community were a result of policies that have been wrought by those up in Washington, D.C. I even ran for office a few times to try and get up there and make a difference. But there are people that want what's being done, are oblivious to what's being done, that does not research. There are politicians, etc., 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 and we have a corrupt system. I could go on and on and on about that, but that's what this video, that is not what this video is about. I'm going to give some advice and understand something. I have personal experience with everything that I'm about to talk about, but I was having a discussion with somebody and I decided I should make a video about this. Hopefully it will help somebody else. And this video is to women. Now, let me make a few things straight. The things that I'm going to talk about are primarily for women that love God. Because if you don't love God, none of this will mean anything to you. But listen, if you're interested, if you find something that tickles your fancy, maybe you might go and pursue so that you can have a better life for yourself and your children, or your children to be. Because I'm going to tell you something. There ain't nothing more important than family. Period. End of story. And God told us in Genesis, I think it was 1:28, I may have it wrong, to go out, be fruitful, and multiply, and subdue the earth. But that also requires that we take care of our families. So here we go. First off, women, if you're not married, or if you are married, don't throw away a good man. And what do I mean by don't throw away a good man? If he is not abusive, that's number one. I'm talking about physically. He doesn't beat on you. And I'm talking about mentally. If he doesn't talk to you like you're trash. Try to work it out. But let me go through these other items as well, because it's a combination deal. So he's not abusive. If he doesn't cheat, now that's a big one. That's a big one. Because you got a lot of guys that do cheat. That's just what they do. Period. But they don't have to always be that way. But if you got one that does not cheat, you really need to think hard before you get rid of him. That's number 2, I believe. Number 3, if he has children that he takes care of, great. But if he's got kids by women that he never even married, that he is not taking care of, don't even get involved. Your children will mean as much to him as those other kids that he had by other women that he wasn't married to and ain't doing a damn thing for them. I think I talked about physical abuse as well. Next, if he ain't got a job, now I'm going to leave out if you ain't got a car, because, people sometimes get caught up in situations, especially when you are young, where you may not have transportation. So, there are some exceptions to the rule. But understand something, when you get to be my age, 62, if you ain't got or achieves a certain level of independence, something's wrong with you. You've been living your life as a mess. You understand? And I want to follow this video with one for the men as well. But not today. That'll probably come tomorrow. Next, if he works and provides. Because men will go out and work, get their money, and man, they get their money on Friday, and then Monday they are broke because they was out partying all weekend. You can see all of these things before you marry the guy. All you got to do is look And let go of that illusion. Once I get married to him, we'll change all of that, or I'll change all of that, and he'll be better. That's a bunch of crap. Ain't never worked, never will work. What we do in a relationship, we do because of our character and how we are. All right? And this is one that you really must consider. He must be kind towards other people and yourself, and especially children. If you meet a man that's mean to other people, trust me, you don't want to marry him. Not at all. Now, I'm talking about primarily women that are in a relationship, that are not married, or women that are not married and are thinking about marrying a guy. These are the things that you need to consider. And if you need to rewind this video, you go ahead. I also covered, if you're not married, these are the things you need to pay attention to if you're not married. Because the Bible says lightness or light and darkness cannot dwell together, period. And God warns you about the things that you need to look out for before you marry somebody, because you cannot be unequally yoked. Now, I just covered if you are already with the guy. You got kids with him, you're trying to make some things work out, don't throw them away. So now what I'm about to cover is what you don't do to avoid it in the first place. Number one, if the man does not love God, don't even get started down that road. Yeah, I know. He may go to church with you a few times, but you can look at a man's lifestyle and see whether or not it is representative of what God would want him to be. Just take time and look. So he's got to love God. Number two, if he's got other kids that he is not supporting, run. And I covered that for the women that weren't married and that really don't give a damn about God. They're just out there doing their thing, and they want to be in a good relationship. I'm telling you what to avoid. If he got kids that he ain't taking care of, man, get the hell on. Or better yet, tell him to get the hell on. Next, and I know this is the norm that everybody is doing, but I'm telling you, it is a disaster, especially in the black community. 70% of our children are born out of wedlock. Most of our children don't have a father that they can look to as a role model. And number three is, don't get pregnant by a man that's not willing to marry you first. That's real easy. I have 5 daughters. None of them have kids. None of them are married. I knock on wood every time I say it, because anything can happen and people make mistakes. But I used to beat in their head. Don't bring me no bastard children, because we ain't gonna celebrate. I want your children to have a name. I want them to have the name of their father. Their name should change from Grayson to whomever it is that you marry to their last name. I taught my kids that. So, that's just that. Number 4, respect him. Don't talk to him any kind of way. I had to tell a brother one time, he told me, well, man, she called me a bitch. I said, that's an automatic no. That's an automatic get your stuff and go. Women, don't disrespect your man. Don't talk to him any kind of way. And if you don't trust him, get rid of him. Because if you don't trust a man, you can't build nothing with him, because you'll never trust him. Just because somebody that you were married to in the past or dated in the past cheated on you or did certain things, that does not mean that the man that you are with now is going to do that. So if you don't see it, don't accuse him. Not at all. Because you can go looking for anything, and I promise you, you'll find it, but that does not mean that it is real. And then, this is a big one. Many women don't understand this, can't grasp it. Don't ever use sex as a tool. Your body is a gift of God that he gave you to give to the man that you love. Even if you're mad with him, don't use sex as a tool. All right? Bible tells you, except in agreement or, for fasting and praying that you've agreed on for a time, You know, it's cool. But when that's done, you come back together. Least ye be tempted. And what does that mean? You go someplace else and get it from somebody else. I speak from experience, so I'm telling you, don't use sex as a tool. So that's really all I got to say. I spoke 10 minutes. I think that was long enough. I hope you pass it on to some other people. It may help them. It is some life advice. And I will follow this up with one for the men. Things that they should not do. Things that they should avoid. And I will give you this one. This young brother that I know, I talked to him and I told him, don't get that girl pregnant unless you are going to marry her. Just don't do it. But he did it anyway. And he's paying a price for it. I have told many young men this. I can't count the number of black men that I know that are effed up over child support, which I do not agree with. I think child support should only be given to women that married the man and they ended up getting separated or divorced. Why? Because if you do that, there is no incentive in getting married to a man that you aren't married to. So you just won't do it because you know you got to bear that load by yourself. T-Mont out, drive time, till next time. This is a throwback from back when I used to do all of those videos talking to people specifically in the black community. I'm just giving you some advice because I'm going to tell you something. In this country, we are all in a deep, dark hole. And I'm going to say this one last thing and I promise I will stop. You don't see the Muslim community entertaining transgenderism or sodomitism. You don't see the Jewish community entertaining transgenderism or sodomitism. But they are pushing it to our children. All right? And the only thing that I'm going to say to you, violence and all that other stuff too, you know, in the rap industry, all I'm going to say this to you is look up who owns the record companies and who own the movie companies and, you know, connect the dots. I think, what's that boy's name? Kanye West was trying to tell you that. T-Mont out, drive time till next time. Forgive the shaking, going over some rough bumps. Peace. All right, let me end this off.